This is what hyperhidrosis in Taiwan looks like. I'm not long back from a trip to Taiwan, and I figured that sharing some of my experiences of hyperhidrosis on holiday may be useful for some people. So to set the picture, I'm in Scotland. If I have any say in the matter, I don't like the temperature to be much above 20 degrees Celsius, and I have full-bodied hyperhidrosis. Now, for most people, hyperhidrosis will affect just the hands or the feet or a very specialised area. For me, it's literally everywhere. I mean, it is predominantly my head and torso, but it's everything. It's everything all times. It's very uncomfortable. I have previously made a video about my experiences with hyperhidrosis. A link will be found in the below bar if you haven't already heard my story and my experiences. This video will focus more on my condition and how it impacted my journey to a significantly hotter country. This is just my experience, and not everyone will find that they are affected in exactly the same way, so it should just be taken as my own recollections and potential advice rather than the gospel truth. There you go, disclaimer. If you have seen my previous video, you will know that I take propanthene bromide, these little things. That's my way of battling hyperhidrosis myself. If you're someone who also takes this medication, I have some bad news for you. During the first week that I was away, these tablets did not work at all. Not at all. While in Scotland, I can take a pill and have these to work maybe within an hour, something like that. It's usually not that bad, but while I was away, for whatever reason, the worst that they did, or the best that they did, was just dry my mouth out slightly. I don't know if this was to do with my body needing time to react and adjust to the temperature. I don't know if it was to do with the heat that was coming from the sun or the humidity in the air. Perhaps the peak temperature was 37 degrees Celsius. I don't know if it was any of those things or something else. Regardless, cue lots of sweating accompanied by a significant amount of swearing and complaining. It's 27 degrees and I am sweating like a whore in church. Full-bodied hyperhidrosis is a bitch. And you have one uncomfortable boy. I would be lying if I said I was able to ignore it. Frequently I was in a really foul mood. When I first arrived in Taipei, everything was going wrong. For me, it's not just the heat, but also stress that can trigger my hyperhidrosis. So having not been on a plane since I was 7, having to navigate the airports in a foreign country by myself, I was pretty stressed. I had a problem obtaining a SIM card initially, and even though that was eventually resolved, that took some time. When I did finally get the SIM card, the data wasn't working on it, and I was relying on the data working so that I would have maps on my phone so that I could actually find my way around without getting lost. Dealing with the whole immigration section of the airport, again, it's not that big a deal really, but I found it quite stressful having never done it as an adult before. Trying to go then and find the bus and work out exactly where I was going. Bit more of a stress when I eventually managed to sort that out and pay for my ticket into the city. Loading my luggage into the bus, I banged my head on the door, the swing door thing, which was, yeah, last thing you need. So basically a short bus journey into the city, which should have been quite fun and exciting. I was in the worst mood. I was hot, I was sweating, I felt disgusting, my SIM card wasn't working, my head hurt, and I just finished a 22-hour journey, so I was really not in the mood. And when I got to the bus station, I would have to find my way to the hostel by myself. On top of this, the air is insanely humid, and as you can imagine, dragging a heavy suitcase through the city, trying to find your way around by memory, it's not really like the priority on people's to-do lists. Long story short, I was able to find the hostel. I got in, took my shoes off. When I was bending down to take my shoes off, like literally sweat was like dripping off my hair and off my nose and making puddles on the floor, like cartoonish, like, but that's how it goes. To add insult to injury, the woman behind the desk, before anything else, did this. Which Looking back now, I find it quite funny, but in the moment I was in such a bad mood. If you have hyperhidrosis, you know how disgusting it can feel, and the last thing you want or need is people pointing out that you're sweating or look a mess or whatever. Following this, when I eventually got myself up to my room and I had my shower, it was like I was able to wash away all the bad feelings, and after a lovely cold shower I was so much happier and things were beginning to look up a bit, so that was great. This would become a daily ritual. I ended up having about 4 showers a day every day while I was away, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Taiwan, much like other well-developed countries, I assume, is fairly well air-conditioned, and London should get a clue with this. One of my favourite things about the Underground, or the MRT as they call it, is how well air-conditioned all the trains and carriages are. You would be waiting on a platform and looking in at like a really packed train and thinking, oh god, this is going to be sweaty and horrible, and actually it's really not that bad. You get in there and it's lovely. It's really, really nice. If the Underground could find a way to do this, I would be very happy. Like, I would appreciate it. That said, even in the well air-conditioned buildings, I would still find a way to sweat, as seen in this video here, where I look especially shiny. Pleasant. So essentially, I can confirm for you what makes sense. If you go to a hotter country, you will sweat more, and if you suffer with hyperhidrosis, this will be a huge challenge. There's no getting around it, sadly. That said, there are positives that can be found from this. My near constant sweating and discomfort provided opportunities to try lots of different ice creams and cold food and drinks, and you know, it would be rude not to. As stated, the showers were not physically cleansing only, but also emotionally too, and I always felt so much better after every shower. Finally, I took a lot of photos during my exploration of Taiwan. This photo was taken after the clip which opened the video. Again, I was in a bad mood. All I wanted to do was to take nice photos of myself to remember this holiday. At the time, I looked at this image and thought I looked disgusting. Be under no pretense, that smile is more than forced. However, I actually really like this photo. It's clear how sweaty I am from the dark marks, but really it's a great image, at least I think it is. If you take something from this video, it should be this. If you have hyperhidrosis and you visit a hotter country, yes, you will sweat, you will be uncomfortable, and you will probably be in a bad mood. Don't let your negativity in the moment ruin the overall experience. I could have stopped myself from climbing that hill. I could have deleted that photo. I could have limited myself and my experiences, but I didn't. I consider this photo as a kind of trophy. I overcame emotional and physical discomfort in the moment, and yeah, looking back, it was a good trip overall, despite the sweating. I have no regrets about that holiday. I didn't let my condition stop me from doing anything, and you shouldn't either.